Did you know that there is a monarchy in Michigan? It's crazy to think, I know. His name was King James Strang. He was a Mormon who claimed the title of king along with prophet of the Mormons. You're going to get a glimpse of how James came to Beaver Island, what he did to the residents, and how he dies 2 weeks after the incident that killed him. In the 1840s, James Strang was a lawyer in the Wisconsin Territory who converted to Mormonism just 5 months before Joseph Smith, the founder of the Mormon faith. Joseph Smith was killed by a mob in Illinois. James was not appointed the leader of the Mormon faith. Birmingham Young was. James wasn't too fond of this choice. Birmingham Young was appointed head of the church and moved from Wisconsin to Utah, where he started the Church of Latter-day Saints. You've probably heard of it. I have. King James Jesse Strang led a Mormon splinter group from Vore, Wisconsin that went to Beaver Island from 1849 to 1856. While on Beaver Island, he appointed himself king, tried to get rid of alcohol, which the majority population of Irish did not like. I know I wouldn't like that. This led to the so-called War of Whiskey Point in 1850, which Strang fired a cannon at the non-Mormon settlers. This encouraged him to try and gain more power by placing a tax for not being Mormon. So if you were Christian or any other faith, you were being taxed for having your religion. Soon the tensions rose as the Mormons grew more powerful, and Strang declared himself king in 1850. He then saw it as his right to rule the entire island and take things from the Christians and non-Christians. Pretty much everyone who already lived there, he would take things from them. The people who resisted came to the mainland to get away from him, which because of that just made him more powerful on the island because he had more supporters that were there, and his reign only lasted about 6 years before the government caught wind of his doings. Yeah, they didn't like them very much. Imagine a small monarchy in the US. I can't imagine that would go over well at all. They took him to trial in Detroit, where he was later elected into Michigan legislator. How does that happen? Beats me. In June of 1856, he was invited to join the captain on the ship for dinner. As he walked down the dock, 2 men shot him in the back and in the head. They were never charged for a crime. They didn't really do much wrong, if you ask me, but that's just my opinion. He died a few weeks later from the shooting. That's crazy. He got shot, waited a few weeks, and then died. Like, how does that happen? It's so crazy to think that this happened in small up north Michigan. Like, we actually had something interesting that happened up here. Insanity, if you ask me. Nowadays, there's a road named after him. It's King's Highway. It's on the main road of the island. It is the main road of the island. It is the only road with their, normal-sized gas station. Shush. All over this island, there are signs telling you what happened on that day in that spot. So, if you go over by the beach, there is a sign that gives you a brief history of King James. And the only town on the island is called St. James, so they hadn't changed that. They have such an interesting history there, and it's hard not to be intrigued when you drive by to look. Beaver Island is full of weird history like this, so if you're ever there, stop and talk to a local. They know the most about everything that's going on there, and I think you'd really like to go there. It's so much fun.